This is Qiang from Hobo Venture.
This is Dan from Vagabond Awake.
Today I'm gonna interview Dan.
No!
One more question is, have you ever paid for sex? So this is our cottage in this secret paradise. We changed another cottage. So look around.
This is where we are.
Yeah.
I'll give you the 360 we're going to interview in this spot, but she wants you to see where we are.
It's a little bit dark here.
Yeah, can you see the water though? Maybe not.
Okay.
We'll show you the water at the end. How's that?
Okay, here is the interview. Are you ready?
No.
It's okay. You have to be ready. So, who are you and where are you from?
My name is Dan. I'm from the United States. I'm also Dan of Vagabond Buddha and Dan of Vagabond Awake, the YouTube channel for Vagabond Buddha.
I see. So what did you have in your YouTube channel?
What do I have on my YouTube channel? I travel the world. I've been to 65 countries. I left the United States in 2007, and I write reports so people can know where in the world they can live for cheap. And the reports are all on vagabondbuddha.com.
How often do you go back to USA?
I try to go at least once a year to see family, and I usually make that goal, and once a year.
Okay, so what is your favorite country?
Ooh, that's a hard one. My favorite countries, probably easier to name the top 5. I really love, boy, that's really hard. I really love, I love Vietnam, I love the Philippines, I love Thailand, I love Malaysia, I love Mexico, I love Italy. I'm a fan of Turkey, Greece. Boy, it's really hard.
It's like you do
Portugal.
Almost all the countries that you travel with.
Yeah, Ecuador. I really love the world.
So what country have you spent the most time in?
Outside the USA,
yes.
When I first left the USA in 2007, I spent 3 years in India for a job I was offered. And then after that, or not just after, but even before, probably the other countries I've spent a lot of time in is Mexico, maybe a year and a half or 2 years there. I've spent a lot of time in Thailand. I've spent a lot of time just in Malaysia, Vietnam, and now in the Philippines. We've been here 5 or 6 months. Yeah.
So have you had any health emergency?
When I was in India, I went to the hospital, I think it was for 4 or 5 days. I had pneumonia in one of my lungs, and so I went to the hospital in India. It was from a skiing accident that I got probably a decade before, and I didn't realize that my lung was collapsed because I was still running and living my life and skiing and everything. I never went to the hospital, I got pneumonia, and I went to a hospital in India, and everything was fine.
How much cost it?
The cost of the treatment?
Yeah.
The whole treatment, it was I think around $1,800 for 4 or 5 days in the hospitals. That's with MRIs, CAT scans. They just did all kinds of stuff to figure out what was wrong with me. And then I had 2 doctors working on it. But through my work, I had like a $200 deductible, so I paid $200.
Wow.
But the whole bill, if I had to pay, it was like maybe $1,800.
Wow, it's cheap, huh?
Yeah, it was cheap. And it was a luxurious hospital. I mean, it was an expat hospital. I hear the local hospital is even cheaper. And some of the best doctors in India are at that hospital because it was a university hospital. So it's even cheaper if you go to the free hospital, or almost free.
Yeah. So how many years outside USA have you health insurance?
Oh, okay. So I left the USA in 2007 in February, and the first 3 years I had health insurance through work. And then when I quit that job and became an independent consultant and began to travel the world, I had no health insurance all the way up until we just bought it last month. So 3 from 13. I have 10 years outside the United States without health insurance, and only that one episode happened while I had health insurance, and even that would have been cheap.
So, do you?
Oh, that isn't true. I had Obamacare when it was required for the first year or 2, but of course I'm never in the U.S. I would never get sick in the U.S., so I was just throwing I don't remember, maybe $500 or $600 a month out the window.
Wow.
So I quit after it was no longer required.
Wow.
And when I go to the hospital now, it's just for like normal checkups or dentists, and it's probably 1/3 or only 20% of the cost of just the premiums in the U.S., and that's for the full care. So to me, it's not a winner to have insurance, but plus we're not in one place long enough to have insurance. So why buy insurance in one country when you're traveling the world? So I've just been self-insuring.
Mm-hmm. So do you eat street food?
I do.
I thought you don't eat street food.
When I met 𝐂𝐒ℎ I was not a big street food.
I forced you to eat street food.
Yeah, she's opened my eyes a little bit. I mean, I ate more than most expats. You know, like I would try whatever the favorites are in that city or whatever, but I didn't make a steady diet of it. But since meeting you, we probably eat street food once a week maybe, or twice a week. It depends when, like during the lockdown of coronavirus, we've been eating at home. But when we're traveling, we find out whatever the best street food is in town and go find it and eat it.
Do you hang out with expat when you're living in the country?
I haven't made a habit of that. When I run into expats, it's fun to chat with them, but I don't make a habit of joining expat web pages.
Like you in India for 3 years?
Yeah. Oh no, that's true. That's a good point. When I first got to India, when you first start traveling internationally, you're drawn to expats because you think that you need to know all this information from people that are more like you, you know, because they'll know the good stuff. The expats will, and the locals won't understand your real problems. But what you find out is that the expats, they know solutions. They just cost more. But if you talk to the locals, they'll find you as good or better solutions for 1/3 of the cost, 20% of the cost.
So why haven't you picked one country and settled down? Will you ever settle down? Yeah.
Yeah. So since leaving, I've spent the 3 years in India, but even then I was traveling every 7th week I had off.
You have a good job.
I had a very good job, yeah. And so I would travel all over that part of the world, even Europe. When I was in India, I had every 7th week off. So to me, I'm exploring the world. I suspect eventually, if I got tired of moving around so much, because now often don't stay in a country more than 3 or 4 months, enough to really understand the country. I'll stay 3 or 4 months if possible, maybe 6 months. But after that, I move to another country to get to know the world, kind of because I like learning about the world, and I like learning about where the best value is for the dollar, and I like sharing that on my webpage and on my Retired Cheap reports. So I like to move forward. I get bored when I'm in the same place for too long.
Okay, so I asked about something about your single life that time before you met me.
Right.
Qiang. Okay, so is it easy for you to find a partner while you are single and traveling?
Maybe if I settled down, it would have been easier, but I liked moving forward, and so it's hard to develop meaningful relationships. And so I would say no. If you travel like me, it's not that easy. But if you settle in one, which is kind of what happened with you, I met you and I really enjoyed spending time with you. So I ended up just coming. I spent a lot of time in Malaysia, almost probably half of 2016, in order to get to know you better. But eventually we left, and so I would say no, it's not easier. Most of the when I would meet someone, they often were not maybe worldly enough. They were more they weren't like, you traveled a lot and you understand the world a little better than some of the girls I dated along the way, and they were
they also traveling, right?
I'm sorry?
They also is a traveling, like, backpacking around.
A few I met like that, but not too many. I just didn't find anybody that felt like a good fit. So I think what it takes is to spend enough time with someone, and if you're moving too much, it's hard to spend enough time really to get to know them and feel comfortable.
Okay, so the next question is, do you find relationship material in a bar in Southeast Asia?
My experience of trying to find girls in bars in Southeast Asia is what a lot of the expats do is they go to bars, the same bar all the time, and that attracts, if you will, local girls that are looking for older, maybe men to find their life easier, and so those aren't really the best places to meet girls, because they're either prostitutes or they're just good normal girls, but they want like a normal local life, and they often aren't. They haven't traveled. They don't really know what it means to travel, and they're often in countries that are hard to leave because they can't get visas or whatever. So I would say if you're looking for a long-term relationship with someone who can travel, I have a video about this even. You should probably stay out of expat bars and look for normal girls that are just are looking to have like a normal life, and just someone that you meet in either a market or in a non-expat bar. In what?
In the church?
Church?
Yeah.
No, I'm not a church person, but that's not a bad place to meet a girl.
Maybe temple?
Temple, yeah, temple would be good. But markets, temples, places where you meet somebody who's looking for a more traditional relationship that's more common. I don't know how to say it.
Okay, so one more question is, have you ever paid for sex?
No.
Look at that.
No, I haven't paid for sex. To me, it's that's sort of like going into the forest with a gun and just shooting a deer in the head. There's no real ritual to it. Eat the deer and move on. To me, you have to put out some little fruit, let the deer come up at its own pace and taste the fruit, and maybe put out more fruit or whatever deers eat. Get to know the deer, teach it how to put a saddle on it, and eventually ride the deer. If your idea of dating deers is just go out and shoot them in the forest, there's no romance to that. There's no technique, or you're not really getting to know a person. They're just like a body. And that's not really what relationships are about for me. I think you have to find someone that you're honestly interested in and develop that friendship and relationship.
Okay, so you say that meet girl in the traditional way, which is going to the markets,
or online, like we met on Tinder, right?
Yeah. I just want to ask you: is it easy to find people to meet in like online dating website?
Yeah, you can very easily meet as a middle-aged or older man, such as myself, and you come to Southeast Asia, there will be people interested in you. They're interested in foreigners. They don't mind the age difference too much. But finding one that's a good fit, that's a different story.
Oh, yeah.
And so that is, you have to kiss some frogs.
So, okay, so there's no more question. It's about your single life. But if you have any question want to ask about his single life, so you can leave a comment.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea.
Pick out some. Okay, the next question is it easy for you to find your home country food ingredients when you're in Southeast Asia? Yeah,
so that's a good question, because as you may know if you've watched our other videos, I love to cook. And so I'm often looking for ingredients. I'll have some recipe in mind, often Italian food or some kind of vegetable stir fry, or I'll have
pumpkin soup,
pumpkins, just 10 different recipes. If you watch long enough, you'll see how you like to cook. And so I'll be looking for ingredients to stuff I know. I've learned to cook all over the world, and so I'll be looking for some ingredient. And sometimes it's easy to find, and sometimes it's not. It depends where you are in the world. And so rather than, when you go to a new country, rather than have an idea of what you want, be more flexible. Go to the market and see a few things and think, how can I adapt these ingredients to something that I want? And the nice part about that is you're not expecting the same flavor. If you travel the world expecting to bring your home with you, your home tastes, your home restaurants, your home recipes, you're going to be disappointed, because nothing's going to taste like you expect. The only food, like I'm from the U.S., the only food the U.S. exports is like McDonald's and Domino's Pizza.
I have to correct you. McDonald's have a good brew coffee and it's cheap.
Yeah, they do. They do, yeah.
Yeah, they cheap.
French fries, are decent too.
Yeah, coffee is the best.
They make a good hot coffee, yeah. So I think if you explore the world, you need to do it with an open mind and don't expect to eat the same food you ate at home. Come learn about the new culture. Come learn about whatever recipes they have, and make those, because those ingredients will be there, and they'll be for a reasonable price. And if you like it, you'll be able to keep making it because you'll be able to get those ingredients over and over again.
Oh, one more thing is it easy for you to travel? Oh, but it's easy for you to travel around the world that you don't have any visa problem, huh?
Well, I mean, historically, Americans have not had visa problems until recently when we've had this crazy outbreak. We're the #1 COVID country in the world because there was no federal plan. But before that, yeah, I mean, I don't remember the exact number. It's in the high 80s, like 187 countries. I'll pick a number that Americans can go to.
For you to understand, Malaysia also in the high trends. I can visit a country without visa for 178 countries. So
is it 178?
It's 178. It's plus minus that.
Yeah, whatever.
It's a top one.
Yeah, so pre-COVID, both Malaysians and Americans and Europeans, a bunch of, there's certain, Japan, there's certain countries that can go wherever the hell they want without a visa.
So that's why you pick me, because I'm so easy to travel. I have no problem with the visa.
No, I didn't even know that when I met you, actually. I picked you because I enjoyed your company. So, but we found that out as we traveled, and I never really even thought about it. I mean,
actually, I also didn't thought about that until that I find like, oh my God,
we
so
just started,
easy for me to travel.
First thing you think about when which country you want to go to, and then you have to check, do you need a visa there? And no visa for her, no visa for me.
I go to UK without visa, and they're not even asking me about anything. Pop 6 months, I can go in. Pop, go to Europe 3 months, no asking onward ticket, no asking where you stay, blah blah blah, no, not
and so
at all.
Malaysia is an oil and gas country, and so they have a higher per capita income than most of Southeast Asia, so they can go wherever the hell they want. So
that is end of the interview. If I miss out any questions, you can write down in the comments.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, by the way, make sure to click the link above here and go to Chung Hoi's channel. Watch her videos. There's also links up there to Retired Cheap Reports. I also have a book, how to fire your boss and travel the world for 13 years. What else?
I don't know. I think time for us to take a break to go to the water.
Yeah, can you hear it back there? We're going to show you now.
Okay.
Is that recording?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Just standing here. Let's go. There's not over there.
It's what? Yeah. Okay,
yeah, but not sure they can see about this, right? Hey, this hat.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Yep. Thanks so much.
See the water.
Yeah, let's show them the water.
And the yacht I got for Daniel.
Yeah, she bought me that yacht. The girl's like powerhouse. She just writes checks. This is Dan of Vagabond Awake. The world is changing really fast. You may be retired sooner than you thought, or you may not have as much money as you thought you would. Come check out our over 50 plus retired cheap reports all over the world to learn where you can live on less money. Thanks for watching. Click the link in the notes below this YouTube video to see our retired cheap reports. Click the link in the notes below this YouTube video to get several videos we have related to this topic. Best countries in the world to find love, how Chung and I met, Chung Hoi from runway model to world traveler, and internet dating tips for expats, and slow travel tips for traveling around the world. Pause the video now to read this important liability disclaimer that limits your rights. You can also find this disclaimer in the description below this YouTube video. Basically, your reliance on the information in our videos is strictly at your own risk. So seek appropriate professional advice before taking any action on our videos.